First year English, lecture number 47, topic Ozymandias, poem number 8. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. First year class, how are you all beta? I hope you all will be fine and enjoying a safe and sound health, and may Allah keep you safe and healthy forever. Ameen summa ameen. Students, welcome to my class, and today we are going to start the poem of a very famous romantic poet, that is Percy Bysshe Shelley. Percy Bysshe Shelley, his shortened name is P.B. Shelley. Okay beta, P.B. Shelley was a prominent English romantic poet and was one of the most highly regarded and influential poets of the 19th century. Since he was born on 4th August 1792 and he died on 8th July 1822. So if we look at the span of his life, it means he could live just 30 years of his life. But beta, during this period, that is very short, he got a lot of fame and name of well acknowledged poets of his era. So beta, he wrote many famous books, and one of the most famous books of his poetry, they are Ode to the West Wind and The Mask of Anarchy. Beta, he is well known for his long form poetry. Mean to say, he used to adopt long form poetry in his writing. Mean to say, he used to write sonnet. Okay, beta? So this poem Ozymandias is a famous sonnet and it is written. Beta, sonnet mean that it is a 14-line poem with a fixed rhyme scheme. How many lines it has? In each stanza, it has 5 lines. Mean to say, there are 14 lines in this poem. Okay beta, this poem Ozymandias, it conveys us very important messages. It conveys 2 important aspects of life in front of us. And beta, one of this aspect is that the life is short and it has a short span of power and glory of human beings. Mean to say, the power and glory of human being, it has an end and it is not immortal, as many people think that they are immortal and they are very proud and they live their life in such a glory that they thought that there is no end of this glory and power. But you know, this is life and it has come to an end. So another aspect that this poem conveys is the sheer vastness of the mother of nature. So the poem conveys that everything in this world is time bound and not immortal. I mean to say, we have to go to the end of our life. We have to meet the end of our life. As many people, as many generations before us, they adopted, they met. In the same way, every person of this world, he has an end. Okay beta, let's start our poem. So beta, as you know that before starting every poem, I give you a detail that you have to write reference and then context before explaining the particular stanza, the lines that are given to you. So beta, in this poem, what will you write? In reference you will write, these lines have been taken from the sonnet Ozymandias by P.B. Shelley. Okay beta, so what will be the context? Ozymandias is an ironic poem. Ironic poem समझते beta? Which has some kind of irony, जिसमें तंज किया गया हो, ठीक है ना? Through your writing, you are criticizing the way of human beings, the way of society, how it behaves. So the poet is showing an irony on the, you can say, little span of life of human being, and he makes fun of him that how he is feeling himself immortal whereas he is mortal. वो तो funny, इंसान तो funny है, लाफानी चीज़ तो कोई नहीं है बेटा इस दुनिया में एक्सेप्ट Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we learn from the poem that those who are proud and mean are also mortal, like humble people who are humble and who live their life in poverty and humbleness, so they also have their life mortal. In the same way, the people who are proud and mean, they are also immortal. So time is the greatest leveler. समझते हो बेटा? Leveler mean to say it levels everything. It's equal. It makes all the things equal, whether they are poor, whether they are rich, whether they are big or small, whatever they are. It is leveled by the time, and that brings an end to all claims of superiority in man. If a man himself considers himself superior to others, so he also have to meet his death. Okay beta, so this is the context of the poem, and let's start our first stanza. That is, I met the traveller from an antique land who said, two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert, near them on the sand half sunk a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command. Okay beta, so as you can see that the rhyme scheme of the poem, that land, stand, stone, frown and command, mean to say the last word of the poem is land, okay, and its you can say rhyme scheme is getting like this: a land, we give the name of the word a, land a, ठीक है. जैसे बेटा इसको हम इस तरह से इसकी जो होती है ना critical appreciation करते हैं कि this poem has this rhyming scheme like A, B, and C. अब जैसे आप देख रहे हैं कि लैंड और सैंड है, ठीक है, जैसे स्टोन और फ्रॉन है और फिर कमांड है. सो लैंड और लैंड को आप ए का नाम देंगे और स्टोन को बी का नाम देंगे. ओके, फिर देन सैंड इज़ ए एंड फ्रॉन इज़ बी. ओके, आर यू गेटिंग माय पॉइंट बेटा? ए राइमिंग स्कीम इसकी क्या होगी? ए बी एंड द कमांड इज़ वेरी डिफरेंट, यू कैन से sound, so it will be given C. So your rhyming scheme will be done as A, B and C. It is not beta given in your you can say paper in the first year, but I am just giving you an extra information that it will quite help you in future as well. So this rhyming scheme will be A, B, C. ठीक है बेटा? Okay. So come back to the poem. I met the traveller from an antique land. So beta, first of all I will tell you the meanings of the difficult words. That antique mean old and ancient, कदीम, जिसको हम कदीम पुराना कहते हैं, ठीक है. Who said too vast and trunkless. Trunkless mean without upper part of body, ठीक है बेटा. Trunkless mean without upper part of body. Okay, legs of stone stand in the desert, near them on the sand half sunk. Sunk mean buried या फिर covered. A shattered mean face broken या exhausted, ठीक है, टूटा फूटा खस्ता हाल, जैसे as you can see in the picture. Shattered visage क्या होगी बेटा? face, ठीक है, चेहरा. lies whose frown means scowl mean तेवरी चढ़ाना, गुस्से से देखना, ठीक है. and wrinkled lips, wrinkle mean line या furrow, जैसे एक शिकन सी पड़ी होती है ना लिप्स के ऊपर, ठीक है, नागवारी का तासुर. एंड स्नीयर ऑफ कोल्ड कमांड. स्नीयर मीन कंटेम्प्ट, स्कॉन, हकारत ऑफ कोल्ड कमांड, ठीक है, कि हकारत है उसके फेस. इट्स मीन कि आफ्टर डाइंग दिस यू कैन से स्टैचू ऑफ द किंग ओzymandias. It was the name of the king beta. Ozymandias was a very great king, and it's mean that as we can see that his statue is lying this, so he would have all these you can say qualities, or you can say bad qualities that are now expressed through his face. It's mean in reality he was possessing all these qualities. He was very proud, he was very vain, and there was scorn. Okay, there was scorn and sneer on his face. नफरत थी उसके चेहरे पर, हकारत थी लोगों के लिए. So it was painted on his face by the artist who had made this sculpture. ठीक है. So beta, let's start its explanation. That the poet says that I met the traveler. It's mean the poet is the narrator of this poem. ठीक है. जो narrator है means he is just explaining it by himself. Okay. I met the traveler from an antique land. Mean to say कि he met a traveler, a person who has visited an old land. किसी पुरानी ज़मीन को विज़िट करके, किसी पुराने इलाके को विज़िट करके बेटा वो आया था. So who said? Now this is the next lines. After the word who said, these are spoken by the traveler. ठीक है बेटा. So who said, two vast and trunkless legs of stone. Vast mean very big. ठीक है. So and trunkless, without body. So trunkless legs of stone, and they were made of stone. As you know that the statues in the sand, in the desert, they are made of stones. ठीक है. पत्थर से बने होते हैं. ठीक है. So two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. And where were they lying? They were lying in the desert, सहरा में. Near them on the sand. बेटा उनके पास ही what was lying near those legs, those vast legs? What was lying? Half sunk. Half sunk mean it was buried half in the desert, in the sand of desert. ठीक है. Half buried है. A shattered visage. Shattered mean a very horrible, and shattered, it was giving a shattered look. The face, it's mean जैसे it was destroyed by the times. वक्त ने उसको तबाह कर दिया. ठीक है. So there are wrinkles on the lips and anger on the face बेटा. Whose frown and wrinkled lips and sneer of the cold command mean to say कि there are wrinkles on his lips and anger on the face. So what type of picture, what type of image of the king the statue is representing? It is representing a dismal picture of pride of the person. And what does the poet want to say that? Pride hath a fall. Mean to say कि जैसे शान शौकत है या गरूर का सर नीचा, उर्दू में कहते हैं ना, प्राइड है द फॉल, के गरूर का सर नीचा. इट्स मीन ही द king Ozymandias, he was actually very proud in his life. And look at his condition now beta. He is, his leg is somewhere and his head is somewhere. And what is happened with the pride and vain of this greatest king? So beta, this was the first stanza, and inshallah in the next lecture I will explain the other two stanzas. So beta, what have you do? You have to better read the text very carefully and better just practice it. First of all, you should learn the similar meanings because they are very important in explaining the text. If you know the meanings of the difficult words, then you will be able to explain, then you will be able to, you can say, narrate and explain the whole stanza in your own words. This is better your creative writing, and you have to get mastery over it. I hope you have all understood. And beta, if you feel any problem while explaining it, so you can ask me and I will wait for your feedback. And beta, till next lecture, stay blessed and Allah Hafiz.